Hello out there in ukulele land. It's Jeff from jeffrey-thomas.com, and I'm going to go ahead and walk through my worksheet on scale practice. I have a routine that I've developed that a lot of my students are following, and it's very effective. So let's get down to business. Make sure you're requesting this worksheet from my website, and just submit your email address, and I'll go ahead and send it off to you. I have this broken down into categories rhythmically. So let's start with the first category, which is quarter notes. And we are using all 5 pentatonic patterns for the key of A minor. And here we go with quarter notes. So I'll just go ahead and play and then come back in and explain some details. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so nothing super exciting here, and this gives me the chance to go ahead and explain the differences between a high G, which is what I have right here, compared to a low G. So let me grab my low G real quick. It's right next to me. I don't have to go very far. Okay, so here's my awesome Ohana low G, and here's what I feel is the advantage of playing with a low G. Listen to how the scale starts. So we've got like the natural succession of notes. We've got a low note going to a high, resembling the guitar, and it's an option. A lot of my students have low G and high G. I'm going to go ahead and get through the rest of the lesson on the high G, because I think most people have a high G, and I don't want to confuse anybody. So here we go. Basically, other points that I want to talk about are your right hand. Letter name wise, your thumb is P, your first finger is I, your middle finger is M, and your ring finger is A. Most of the work that you're going to be doing for scale practice is either starting with M and alternating M, I, or starting with I and going to M. Either one is fine as long as you're alternating. What you want to avoid is doubling up and using the same finger twice, okay? So quarter notes, once again, super slow. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Double up on that top note. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can see I'm alternating. Another thing to point out as an option is when we're playing on the 4th string, we're using what's called a free stroke. So there's no string to rest on, and we're simply gliding over the strings. When you get to the 3rd string, you can do what's called a rest stroke. This is coming from classical guitar terminology. So see how I'm resting into that 4th string? When I go to the 2nd string, I'm resting into the 3rd. When I go to the 1st string, I'm resting into the 2nd string. So this is a great way for you to get a feel for where you are with your fingers. So free stroke is gliding over the string and not resting, and then rest stroke is actually coming and making contact with the string lower from where you are. I'm going to probably use the rest stroke through the whole lesson. Okay, moving on to the other categories on the worksheet. 2A is 8th notes, and you can see that I'm playing the same note twice. So let's go ahead and walk through that, and I'll get the counting for you. Ready, go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and double up on the top note, come down. Okay, now we go to the metronome. I'm going to demo stuff for you at 70 so you can get perspective with counting. 2, ready, go. Thank you, good night. Now, we're going to stay with the A category. Let's go to 3A next, which is triplets, okay? Triplets are kind of squirrely because it's an odd number. We have 3 to 1 as far as a ratio that we're playing, and I'm going to go ahead and walk through. with the counting on this. So ready, go. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Come back down. Okay, now, at this point of our show, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the advantage of alternating with I&M, which is, by the way, the go-to fingers, either I&M or M&A for scale playing. If you were trying to play through scale passages with just your thumb, like a lot of people do, there's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong about saying there's nothing wrong with that. But at a certain point, I mean, you may as well be using a pick. So this is more proper. Okay, now let me go to the metronome for 3A. We'll stay at 70. Ready, go. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Just really listening to my time, watching my technique. Obviously, you need to know the scale patterns. We'll talk more about that in a second. I'm going to run through all 5 for you, but let's keep going through the rhythmic categories. Let's go to 4A next. 4A on the worksheet is 16th notes, same note 4 times. I'm just going to go straight to the metronome. Ready, go. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a. Okie doke. Counting on 16th notes. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Cool. Now, let's talk about the B category. So 2B, 3B, and 4B. 2B is 8th notes playing 2 separate notes. So we will be moving quicker in the left hand. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and kiddoke. 3B is triplets, 3 separate notes. Ready, go. 1 triplet, 2 triplet. Now I don't really find that doubling up on the top note works for the triplets here when you're playing the 3 separate notes. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet. So the rhythm is a little bit weird, but if you just hammer it out with a metronome, ready, go. Okie-doke. And now 4B, the moment you've all been waiting for, 4B. 16th notes, 4 separate notes. Counting will be the same, you're just moving quicker in the left hand. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Now wish me luck, metronome at 70. Ready, go. Okay. So we've established quarter notes, which, you know, is basic bare bones. Then the A categories, which 2A is playing the same note twice, 3A is playing the same note 3 times, 4A is playing the same note 4 times, using 8th, triplet, 16th rhythms. The B categories, 2B, 2 separate notes using 8th notes, 3B, 3 separate notes using triplets, 4B, 4 separate notes using 16th notes. Okay, so this is going to the gym for the ukulele. Now, I want to explain the upper part of the worksheet because if you look at it, it might initially be kind of confusing, right? I've got the scale here, but then I have a highlight of a chord shape, and then I have the fingerings for the chord shape in the row underneath, right? So here's the point of that, starting with the A minor, so the far left part of the page. Here's your A minor chord, and then here's the A minor pentatonic. Okay, the second pattern starts at the second fret, and the fingers are 1, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4, 2, 4. And I've decided to put a C chord over that shape. So, okay, moving up the scale here at the 5th fret, another C chord, different voicing of the C chord. Pattern would be 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 3, starting at the 5th fret, right? Okay, now we go to 7th fret. Ready, go. 1, 3, 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 4. And the chord that I used, A minor over E. And then moving up to the last pattern at the 9th fret, another A minor over E voicing. Different voicing, same chord. Okay, ready, go. 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3. Okay, so where this is also headed, besides developing technique for scale practice, is into improvisation. If you're playing over a chord progression, and somebody points to you and says, "Hey, Jeff, go ahead and take a solo." Here's the cool thing about the pentatonic patterns. Any note in any one of the 5 patterns is gonna be fine. You're not gonna have to freak out and like worry about your note choice, which is the main advantage of the pentatonic patterns. Also, a little bit on theory. These pentatonic patterns are labeled as A minor, but they can also fit for chord progressions in C, and they can also work for chord progressions in A blues or A minor blues. So kind of just a big picture there on how important this is, and hopefully the lesson was helpful and it gets you started on this worksheet. If you have any questions, make sure you contact me through the site, and we can definitely go through any other questions you have meeting up on Skype or Google Hangouts. Okie doke, talk to you later, bye-bye.